So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to become more minimal in 30 days. It's very important to know that becoming a lot more minimal is different for everybody. And not just that, it takes a while. I am still on my journey. I have been in my home for about 3 months now, and for some people it may take a week, for some people it may take a month, and for some people it may take years. So if you want to start becoming more minimal, personally, I think it's going to be a journey. You want to start becoming more minimal. Where do you start? Go room by room and start to declutter. And what I mean by this is, for example, let's say I'm down in my living room. For the first day, if there's a lot in here, I may only tackle my vanity, and that's okay. Just go room by room, you know, section by section, item by item, and start to declutter. Rather than pulling out the things you don't want, start by looking through all your items and thinking, do I use this? Do I love this? Does this make me happy? Start pulling out the items that you use all the time. And the items that you don't use, it's probably time to declutter. I personally feel like if I start with my living room for one day, then the next day I can go into, let's say, my entrance and go from there. And although it's going to take me maybe a month to go through my whole home, by then, room by room was being decluttered. It makes it so much easier to declutter. It's less overwhelming, and you know what, if it takes you a week to go through your kitchen because you do section by section, that is okay. But personally, I feel like if you do room by room consistently every single day for 30 days, you will get somewhere. Your spending habits when you become more minimal really do change, and I feel like you become a lot more mindful of your spending habits. Instead of going out and spending, you know, $20 on this really cute painting because it's cute, it's time to just save that and start to appreciate negative space and start to appreciate just blank space and the clean cuts and the nice, you know, trims and the pieces that you already have. And instead of going out and spending money on pieces that you think you need, go through your home and see if there are any pieces that you can take from one room and put in another. For example, in my closet, when I redid it, I actually had this little shelf that I didn't need in my closet, and instead of decluttering it, I actually took it and put it in my entrance closet, and I'm now using it as a shoe rack. So instead of spending $30 on a shoe rack, I actually just took a little shelf that I had and I'm using it as that. But your spending habits are going to change, and you will need to continue to change your spending habits. It can be easy to slip back into, it's cute, it would match, I would like this, but at the end of the day, do you need it? And is it actually going to serve a purpose in your home? Is it actually going to be a shirt that you're going to wear? We can get trapped into that so easy, but the biggest part is to try and stay out of it. Be mindful of the social media that you're looking at. Facebook Marketplace, buy and sell groups, Kijiji, Poshmark, Instagram, YouTube, they can all influence you to purchase different things. I actually went on my Instagram and I unfollowed over 200 accounts just because I was just tired of hearing about a new Gymshark sale. And actually now a lot of creators that I'm subscribed to on YouTube talk about minimalism a lot more, and it always just gives me that little bit of drive, like, oh right, no, I don't need a new activewear set. I have plenty of pieces that I'm focused on wearing. And I just feel like Facebook Marketplace, because something is cheap, because it's cheaper to buy used, because it's right there, I just feel like sometimes we can get sucked into Kijiji auction sites, and I can do that myself. But I just feel like we can put those down, we can click off, and we can do something that is a lot better of our time, which would be going for a walk with the dog, going to the park, spending time on a hobby, different things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes there are things that you are looking for online. If you're looking for a furniture piece that you've been waiting for, by all means, go ahead and get it. But a lot of the time we are scrolling mindlessly on social media, which can influence us into purchasing things that we think we need, but we don't really need. Next tip is probably one of my favorite tips when it comes to being more minimal, and that is the one in, one out rule. Now, if you haven't heard of this rule before, it is very simple. If you purchase something, that means you declutter something, which means that the amount of items in your home remains the same. Let's say I go out to purchase 4 items for my kitchen, and I come home. The idea is I purchase 4 things, I need to declutter 4 things. When it comes to that, I'm a little bit lenient because I moved into my home. I don't always have 4 items in that specific category to get rid of. I may have 4 pairs of socks that I can get rid of. I may have 2 face cloths, a dog collar, and a pair of slippers I can get rid of, and that is okay. But I would highly recommend following the 1 in, 1 out rule. And when it comes to an area of items that you have a lot of, such as clothing, if you're going shopping for clothing and you know you have a lot, make sure that if you bring a piece of clothing in, to take a piece of clothing out. I just feel like that is such a good rule. A lot of the time when I think, okay, I brought in a new top and I go to declutter another top, I find more things that I don't need. So definitely follow the 1 in, 1 out rule when it comes to decluttering, even if it's as simple as you bring in a shirt and your closet's very minimal, and you have a coaster that you want to get rid of. I just feel like having that mindset a lot more helpful. My last tip is going to be declutter regularly. Decluttering regularly is such a main part of becoming more minimal, and decluttering almost starts to become just a habit. I know since I've started decluttering, if there is something in my mind that I don't need, it will sit there and it will bother me enough until I actually go and move it to my declutter bin. I just personally feel like if you continue to declutter daily or every other day, it'll stick with you, and it doesn't have to be anything big. And that's the point. Decluttering can be as easy as those newspapers that you got from last week, declutter those. Those magazines that you have, declutter those. Those encyclopedias or books that you don't read, you can declutter those. So definitely continue to declutter, not just for 30 days, not just for 2 months, continue to declutter as you go. And I just personally feel like the more and more I declutter, the less I want to bring into my home. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up because I have plenty more minimal videos. If you want to see more of those, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.